So I don't know if some of y'all heard or not, but there's this officer named Officer Anderson. I think he's out of Washington State, and that white cop was dropping science. You know, I think most of these police is like KKK. I think most of them is racist, the white ones, and some of the black ones are sellouts. And I've had my experiences on both sides of the fence, just in the streets, how they act funky. And but the white ones, they KKK. Most of them, 99.5%. And you may get a couple that are cool, but a lot of them are good old boys, and they believe in the lynch mob and the militia and all that. And I say what I feel because anyone that can tolerate what happened with Ahmaud Arbery, the stuff that goes on, that's going on for over 500 years, you just can't trust them. You just because they act like black folks ain't born from this country. I mean, they act like we hopped the fence and we swam over here illegally or something. That plantation mindset has been trained and ingrained from the powers that be to downplay black folks' significance. But anyway, Officer Anderson, this white dude is a breath of fresh air. I'm like, I know his white privilege is about to get revoked, but I'm telling you, I was feeling what I heard him saying. He spoke some truths. You get a chance, peep out Officer Anderson. Of course, they fired him. They won't let him have a state job in Washington State again, and you expect that because the racist wherever you go. The police force always, you can't break the code, and they get trained to hate against black people. I'm very convinced of it. You can't tell me otherwise. You know, you know. I don't need to go back in the 50s to see Miles Davis beat up and bloody performing, and he goes back on stage in the late 50s, and then fast forward to Ahmaud Arbery, and in between other instances to know what's up. And I point out it don't matter if you're a known African American or unknown. It's always the same old same. They send the hounds to attack, you know. And who's watching who? Who's watching them? You see. You can always know that it's suspect and shady from the J. Edgar Hoover days. Going after black folks. That's nothing new. But anyway, this Officer Anderson, the white dude is a breath of fresh air, I tell you. You need to see that video. I mean, I'm sitting there like, wow. He had enough of it. I wish there were more honest polices out there. Because most of them ain't honest. They know there'd be some crooked shadiness going on. And when I say it, I'm talking about where it's purposely done to attack black folk. So I want to give Officer Anderson his due. Because he should be on somebody's force. And they tried to tell him to take it down. They want him telling it, and they fired him for it. But it's good to see someone that stood for something, because a lot of them don't stand for nothing. They rather be crooked and racist and hateful, and run behind and hide behind a shield to kill and assassinate, and to use black people as prey. Even though black folks made this country, put this country together, and still are, and still getting treated like second class citizens. So it's good to see a white officer that spoke up. This dude is like a breath of fresh air. All right, that's my thoughts and takes about Officer Anderson, a white cop who spoke up about the injustices, spoke up about what he sees with the police shield and the racism and the reality. Give me your thoughts and your takes to the like, subscribe, and the bell rings. New video. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for one another. And right is right, wrong is wrong. I don't care what your job title is. If you know it's wrong, why are you partaking in it? That badge and that honor ain't honorable. Because remember, it's the people that pay your salary and not the other way around. I'm out.